evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day. What a wild market this thing is. Qs were way down, then they were up. Apple was down, then it was up. Everything's all crazy. So we'll go through, see what's going to be popping, what looks good, and what opportunities we have presented for tomorrow. So let's go through and see what's going on here. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody this evening? And there is your crazy heat map. Like I said, this market is all over the place. Your SPY ended up closing green right there. Look at this thing. I mean, it was way down this morning down there, then popped up, recovered at the end of the day, came down a little bit towards the end of the day, but nothing too crazy. Your Qs did the same thing, basically way down, made a little W right there, came down, and boom. I mean, they just went cruising right up there. So your IWM, let's check that out. And that was also closing green right there. So a lot of them pulled back, then went up in the afternoon. And this is what the market's going to look like for tomorrow. So let's take a look and see what's going to be going on. Janica and Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel and everybody else hanging out. How are we this evening? And here we go. Yeah, I forgot to originally put Laptop Travel's list on there. Dougie asked me something. I got sidetracked, and that was a wrap. So hold on. I'm just going to retweet this out. Hold on. Let me do this. Because, again, I don't know if the StreamYard's really working too well. So let me just put this out. Live show tonight. Tonight's live show. Here we go. All right, let's get to it here. I just got to do that real quick. And there you go. All right, let's rock and roll. YouTube. Is the YouTube down? Oh, the YouTube's down. It says it's working there. Who knows what's going on with these things? You're live. It says it's working. Keep refreshing it. Let me check, Luis Rodriguez. Maybe that's why. I could tell when things aren't really working over here. It does say it's live. I don't even know. These things are so crazy anymore, guys. I'm telling you, the StreamYard, they know that there's issues with like everything going on. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely issues. Let me see. Mine looks like it's popping up there. So maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe X out of your browser or something, Luis Rodriguez. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's working there for me. So who the heck knows? It's all kinds of crazy. But anyway, you're on X, so it's on there. And it does look like it's working on YouTube. Janik is on there on YouTube too. So it does look like it's working on all three and Facebook. Anyway, let's go, guys. Let's look at the market, see what's going on. Janik has said it's good on YouTube. So maybe close out your browser real quick, Luis Rodriguez, and give it a quick try or refresh it. And ONDS right here. This one looking pretty good this morning. And look at that bad boy bouncing up. That could be a good run right there. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on ONDS for tomorrow. That looks like it could be a little bit of a momentum play right now because it is cruising along. And let's take a look and see what the rest of our list is doing right here, because Galaxy was down. Crypto, it just has that look like it's not ready yet. You can see Bitcoin at 67K. We'll look at it now. We'll look at it later. And let's take a quick look at it. And look at it, just bouncing down there, pulling back. Ethereum's just under 2,000 right there. It pulled back even a little more since I was just looking at it a few minutes ago. And then Solana is under 87, 84. That's what it was at, 85, 84 right there, pulling back. Ripple actually didn't look too bad, but even pulling back right there as the 20. Oh, there you go, Luis Rodriguez. You're on it now. So perfect. And yeah, so I wouldn't say that crypto looks beautiful. So we'll just get that out the way. We'll go through it again at the end of the show for those that are tuning in late. ASTS right here. Look at that big old dip. That could dip down a little bit more. It looks like it was going down a little in the after hours right there. UMAC looked like it was setting up, and that's probably why right there, because that's another one. UMAC and ONDS, I think, are looking pretty good there. I think we said that yesterday, as a matter of fact, and they did get moving. And how about your Redwire? Excuse me. Redwire starting to curl up. Aerospace and defense right there. And while we're talking about that, let me just go sidetracked and hit LMT and these guys, because they looked great this morning. And then I guess Iran, there was some news that came out. I forget exactly what happened. I guess they're trying to figure things out. I don't even know. I really have no idea what they said. They had a meeting today, let's put it that way. And Huntington Ingalls right here was also pulling back. So these things were looking great. I'll be looking at them tomorrow. Northrop Grumman, a little bit of pullback as well. And they do look like they could dip down. They were looking really good going in to on last night, Monday night. I was going to say Sunday night. On Monday night, because it was President's Day going into today, and I did see tip the hat for Robert Duvall. I did see he did pass away. A great actor right there. Not that I'm a big movie person, but Robert Duvall, I do know who he is, and he did pass away. So rest in peace, there, Robert Duvall, however you say it, Duvall, I think. You guys know I'm terrible at names, so it's one of them pronunciations, and I apologize whichever one I said it wrong. But yeah, he did pass away unfortunately today, and red wire right there. That was kind of dipping down a little bit. Let's see, nuclear looking pretty good right here. NKLR, that looks really good for tomorrow. Look at that setup. And I was saying that was setting up right there last week. And I think, again, you guys know sometimes I'm a little early if the market's just kind of bouncing around right there. But that one's definitely looking pretty good. SMR right here, not too bad. I got to get the trend spider fixed, guys. There's an issue with my account. That's what happened. And Nader's on it, and then me and Nader are gonna do a show real soon. He's gonna let me know when he's available. He was just busy there, and during the holidays, and then and then Reverend Jesse Jackson passed this morning too. You're right, Janica. I did forget that. I saw that. Wow, a lot of passings today, huh? Seemed like that was like 2 days ago when I saw that Jesse Jackson passed away. There was so much news, I guess, today and things happening. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That did happen this morning. I forgot all about that. Thanks for reminding me. So yeah, Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away. How about that? So him and Robert Duvall, there's going to be at least one more happening here. They usually go in threes, don't they? And so we'll see who's going to be the next one. But SMR right here, not too bad. And Aklo right here was moving up, and that looks pretty good. So I do think the nuclear is looking good. And again, I'll get the trend spider worked out probably tomorrow. Nader said he'll have it all figured out there, so we'll get that all taken care of. No big deal. We can work. Honestly, the Finviz is now so up to par with the overnight hours and everything else that you can just use it. But I absolutely do like to use them both. You know that I use them both all day. EOSC is another one setting up right here, looking pretty good. So just watch for any dip backs and pullbacks. I mean, any dips and pullbacks, dip backs. There you go. Look for any dip backs. The Q's tomorrow over laptop travel. An interesting one, isn't it? As it went up there today. And now the top this morning down there. And got in. I had to jump out because it was looking way too good as it was spiking up there. So definitely made a little bit, gave a little bit back. I made some, but gave a little bit back there on that one. We ended up getting it like right down here, thinking it was going to dip down. It looked like it was going to roll down right there, and then all of a sudden started to reverse, and obviously went up. But yeah, just time these guys out sometimes, and it's perfect. Should have known on that W right there, laptop travel, that it had the potential to go on, and then it made another one right there, and then it got booming. So, and then it's a big W. Look at all them W's you can pick out of this thing right there, and oof, there you go. I know that was the worst right there, laptop travel. It happens though, right? And but yeah, I try, and honestly, it wasn't at the bottom right there. It wasn't in the basement like down here where you would have caught that pop up. Up here, it's coming down. I'm telling you, there's certain looks where you can just tell it's absolutely coming down, and I could just tell right there. That look right there, you just know right here, it's going to pull back some, but then you just got to be careful because it turned kind of bullish, and it was kind of red this morning. That's why I thought it was going to continue to pull back, and then it just switched around there, and that's what happened with the Qs. But what's going to happen tomorrow, laptop travel, is what we were talking about before I hop off of there. Honestly, still looks like it's going to pull back a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And then I think it could get turned back around again. It could be another one of these situations where it's really just volatile, bouncing around. That's why I don't think this whole Iran thing's over yet. I think they just keep putting out news, and I think Trump and the prime minister from Israel already had their mind set up weeks ago, and they already know what's going on. They already know what they're going to do. They're already positioning themselves, and these talks and stuff are just kind of obviously distracting everybody, including Poly Market right here, because you can see no one thinks anything's going to happen right here. I mean, look at this thing, 2%, 3%. And I think somebody, and this is like 81%, that there's no strike by the end of the month. Someone put a bunch of money on it, I think, or something, that it happens by the end of the month. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, that's what it looks like right there, laptop travel. And obviously, we'll look at it again later on, and we'll look at it in the morning to see what is going to happen. Not it's going to change a little bit by tonight, but tomorrow morning. But yeah, I do think you're going to still see some pullback, and you can still see it was pulling back at the end of the day, and then a little bit at the end. It tends to do that though, and then pulling back a little bit more. So we'll see. It looks like in the first opening at 4 a.m., it's going to try to run up, and then we'll have to see what it looks like. So you'll have a good look at it at 4 a.m. But I think by the end of by 7 a.m., we'll be able to tell. And I do think you could still have some pullback unless this bad boy gets completely curled up right there. If we attack Iran, the market will take a huge dip, and I'd buy that dip absolutely 100%. I agree with you, laptop travel. And that's why I still kind of have a red flag out, because I'm not convinced that this thing is ready to roll. Remember I mentioned signing day sports the other day? I saw it on the scanner there. Look at that thing. That was jumping up pretty good there today. And OLB, this thing, OLB group, this thing was rocking and rolling. That one was fairly new. And not sure what it is, but it's a biotech company, PLYX, and that atom right there. Didn't someone mention that yesterday, or we looked at it? And look at the lion right there, not looking bad. We might have to open up the lion and see if it wants to roar some more. Look at that bad boy. Holy cow, the lion's looking pretty good right there. We haven't looked at. I'm trying to remember the other ones. I know we have JagX, the Jaguar. That's been in the dumpster. That's just been bad. And what the heck were the other ones? The Lion, I don't even remember, guys. Jaguar, Lion. There was another couple that we used to look at that were animals. Holy cow, my brain is so bad, isn't it? I don't even remember. It'll come to me later, maybe, or something. But when I'm not thinking about it, they might. I doubt it, though. I won't even remember that I had this conversation. So what the heck were them ones? The Lion, Jaguar, and I have no idea. I'm like completely blank. You guys can tell me. Wasn't there like a Jaguar? Yeah, Jagex, the Lion. It wasn't. Was it Todd? I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't know. I really don't know, guys. What the other what the other big cat was? What the heck was it? I forget what it was. Holy cow, that's pretty bad. Anyway, let's cruise through our list, see what's going on for tomorrow. We were looking at IREN right there, and that is pulling back a little bit. That could pull back. EOSE though, if I typed it in right, it is looking pretty good there. So you can check that one out for tomorrow. And Carmel right there, critical metal, CRML, still kind of dipping down at the moment. And USAR, let's see what that's doing, because that's hitting that 50. And we'll see. That could continue to pull back a little bit right there. MP, that was pulling back. So these metal ones are pulling back still a little bit right there. And your 4Us was down a little bit right now. But these ones could try to get reversed around relatively soon. So we're going to be watching for these bottoms. ASPI, I kind of like that getting set up right there. EOSE, ASPI. There's a couple good ones. Nuclear right here. This one we were saying, that one doesn't look too bad to try to bounce up there. And let's see what Berna was doing. There you go. Berna's trying to move back up. Maybe that's the bottom for Berna, and maybe it tries to crawl up. We'd have to look at it tomorrow, to be completely honest with you. And you heard the talks today in Switzerland between the U.S. and Iran were productive. Excuse me. And yeah, like I said, it's Jared Kushner, and somebody mentioned the other guy today. Was it Janica told us? I forget. Someone told us this morning. I completely forget what the guy's name is already. You guys can tell me like 100 times. I'm just so bad. I'm telling you, my brain, it really only works for stock tickers, and that's about it. I think just stock tickers is all it works for. I don't know what else it works for. I don't know. It's so wild, guys. It's the most bizarre thing ever. And I used to have a photographic memory. Can you imagine that? And UAVS right here, that one's pulling back. And yeah, I just shake my head. It's like laughable how bad my memory is. This one's gonna get set up right there. I don't think it's gonna pull back much more right there. So UAVS not looking so bad. And let's see what Gush and Boyle are up to, because Gush was definitely pulling back. That's your oil and gas one. ExxonMobil was down today. Oxy was pulling back a little bit. I did see that. And then even your CVX was up early and it did pull back. So them ones are coming down right there. The cheetah, thank you, Zach. You knew it. There you go. I could not think of that to save my life, Zach. The cheetah, CTNT. There you go. Zach remembers what it was. That doesn't look too bad. I had that spike up, a little bit of healthy pullback. Yeah, it was the lion, jaguar, and cheetah. Thank you, Zach. Holy cow. I almost forgot that you just wrote CTNT cheetah, and I was like, what are you talking about? I almost forgot. Holy cow. That's how bad it is, guys. But yeah, the cheetah, this one right here, we used to look at all the time with our big cats. Thank you very much for that reminder right there. And there you are. But yeah, um, they're not looking. Jag X wasn't looking so bad, but like I said, the lion right here, LGHL, blasting off today, and it could continue to run up there tomorrow. So definitely watch that one. And then your natural gas was also down there today, your boil. So that's pulling back a little bit more as well. So we have to see how far that wants to come down. How's that pulling back? But yet my gas and electric bill is absolutely just boiling hot. I mean, it's just like boiling like it's just way too much. It's crazy. I'm telling you guys, it's so crazy what our electric and gas bills are. And before they blamed it on the air conditioner and said it was the electric, but then as soon as the old winter came in, they're like, "Oh, natural gas, we got to raise that like 9,000%, Luis Rodriguez." So here you go. Now we'll let your electric slide a little bit, but your natural gas is going to be astronomical. You're like, what is going on? And yeah, they just are jacking up bills like crazy. Oh, guys, hold on. I got to read this to you. Hold on. I totally wasn't prepared, was I? I was earlier, and then I forgot. But what just reminded me is talking about New Jersey. I can't forget this. Hold on. I got to find it real quick. Where the hell was it? Here we go. Oh, this is great, guys. Now, just bear with me while I read this, Zach and everybody else, because you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about right here. This is fascinating. No, wait till you hear this. Luis Rodriguez, you ready? See here. This is how New Jersey works, everybody. Here we go. You ready for this one? I mean, I've talked about it many times. I've seen it with my own eyes how this works. But here you go. Prosecutors dropped racketeering case against New Jersey Democratic power broker George Norcross and co-defendants. Remember I told you about that story, guys, in that case? I read the actual. I didn't read the whole thing, but my buddy had read the whole thing, told me about it. I read some of it. I'm telling you, it was like straight out of a mafia movie. And yeah, that's what Norcross is. He's the power broker. That's his title. He's like the most powerful politician in New Jersey. The mayor doesn't mean anything, or the governor doesn't mean anything, like Mickey Sherrill or whatever. If Norcross wants to do something, Norcross is doing something. It doesn't matter. And then he has a brother. So yeah, New Jersey's acting attorney general said Tuesday she will not ask the state Supreme Court to review the dismissal of racketeering charges against Democratic power broker Georgie Norcross III and those charged alongside of him. I wonder why. And the decision by Jennifer Davenport, who was recently appointed by new governor Mickey Sherrill, came nearly 3 weeks after a 3-judge appellate panel upheld a state judge's decision to toss the criminal charges. Wow, how amazing is that, guys? I mean, you got to read this indictment. The indictment had been obtained by Matt Platkin, who served as attorney general under Sherrill's predecessor and fellow Democrat Phil Murphy. I mean, guys, I've told you about this case. It's absolutely wild. I'm telling you, it's crazy what goes on. And then in light of that decision, we've concluded that our prosecutorial resources would be best spent on other matters. I disagree. How about us? Why don't we vote on that with the taxpayers and ask about that one, Luis Rodriguez? How about that? Our office remains committed to prioritizing public corruption prosecutions in this time of deepening mistrust in government. Well, what the hell are we not prosecuting for? And why are we throwing it out? You just lied. You said our office remains committed to prioritizing public corruption prosecutions in this time of deepening mistrust in government. If there's so much mistrust in government, why the hell is this thing not being? Why are the prosecutors dropping the racketeering case? That doesn't make much sense, does it? But that's their quote. This is their quote. I'm just telling you what their quote is. The Attorney General's office said in a statement, our office remains committed to prioritizing public corruption prosecutions in this time of deepening mistrust in government. But the headline, prosecutors dropped the racketeering case against New Jersey Democratic power broker George Norcross and Democrat and co-defendants. I mean, do you see how they're trying to remain committed to prioritizing public corruption and prosecutions? I don't, but anyway, the charges stem. Now here it goes. Here's the charges stemmed from a 2024 indictment. I told you about this, announced by Platkin at a news conference at which Norcross himself took the unusual step of appearing in person and sitting directly in front of the Attorney General. You want to talk about threatening somebody? I told you he's more powerful than everybody in the state. And so him and 5 defendants were accused of running an enterprise going back to 2012. Here you go. I'll read it to you. To use their political influence to craft legislation to serve their own interests, which they absolutely did. But in a nearly 100-page ruling, the state judge found the prosecution's allegations did not amount to criminal coercion or extortion and are time barred. Guys, how corrupt is that? I mean, I'm reading you just like straight corruption 101 right here. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. Norcross and his attorney, we have to read the whole thing at this point. I'm the worst reader. I don't even know how I can read this much, but Norcross and his lawyers have long maintained his innocence, claiming the indictment was politically motivated. An allegation Platkin has repeatedly denied. Oh, no, it was definitely not politically motivated, guys. This guy is so corrupt. I'm telling you. I've told you, I've watched this happen in front of my eyes. I mean, I've watched these things my whole life. So Norcross, he served as the executive chairman of the insurance firm Connor Strong and something, and they've been widely viewed as among the most influential unelected Democrats in the state. Like I said, he's the most powerful person in the state. He trumps that. That's why Cheryl, whatever her name is, she bowed right to her knees. And what's her name? Mikey Sherrill. And he was a Democratic National Committee member until 2021 and previously served as the head of the Camden County Democratic Party. Guys, what have I told you about Camden County Democratic Party and how our Camden County our voting laws are? I'm telling you, look it up. I live in the county. Look them up, guys. We have the craziest voting laws in the entire country. I'm not kidding you guys. They can do whatever they want. They literally made the laws that they can do whatever they want. I've run in 2 elections. I know for a fact. I know exactly how it operates. I've worked in government my entire life with these corrupt people. So I've told you about this story before, and I saw that. I saw it today. Actually, my buddy sent it over to me. He goes, are you surprised? I go, not really, but oh, wow, what a big F you to everybody right there. I mean, these guys are just so corrupt. I mean, they steal so much from every taxpayer in New Jersey, probably everywhere. And there you go. They're just walking free. Yeah, they strong-armed a bunch of people. I gotta get the indictment. I'll get it back from my buddy. I'll tell him to highlight like the good stuff or something, or maybe I'll have him come on and read it to you, like read the good stuff. This indictment's insane, guys. I mean, literally, they could make a movie out of it. And well, they're walking free because nothing's gonna happen now. How wild's that, though? And so that's how New Jersey operates, everybody. There you go, Luis Rodriguez. And meanwhile, January 16th. Oh, did you see how many Luis Rodriguez? Go look at the amount of money that they signed through right before they left office, too. It's like astronomical amount of money just went like completely signed off, missing. But anyway, back on this January 16th of 2026, Governor Murphy signed an executive order 415 terminating the COVID-19 state of emergency originally declared on March. That was still a state of emergency up until the beginning of this year. I had no idea, Luis Rodriguez. And yeah, I didn't really care, but how about that? Yeah, I'm even wearing a little orange and red right now, laptop travel, because it is not a beautiful day right there. So we are waiting for some bottoms. But how about that story, guys? I thought I'd share that one with you right there, because how fascinating is that? I mean, you want to talk about corruption 101. Just move to New Jersey. I mean, that is just bizarre what goes on. And honestly, it I already decided I'm gonna do something really fun in the next week. You guys are gonna love it. So I think Norcross is gonna love it too. To be honest with you, I almost promise you, he will see what I do in the next week. It's going to be amazing. Watch this. So here I'm just giving you a little sneak peek of. I've told you the story before of what happened in my town. And I'm gonna just go do the video on it and just read the whole thing and just tell you it's about the whole entire thing. So you guys know, I'll just give you a little pretense of what it is. You guys can probably figure it out. So yeah, the Nick Shirley kind of motivated me. I said, why not just go do this thing? I mean, let's just call these people out. I don't care. I walk around town. I don't give a shit. Like I said, I could care less. And I've talked about it before. Like I said, my one neighbor listened the first time I mentioned it and came over and said something. I was like, holy shit, people listen to this show. That's pretty wild. And but anyway, yeah. So I'm just gonna shoot a video about all that corruption and put that out there too. So that should be a fun. I'll tag Norcross on it. He'll like that video. As a matter of fact, like I said, our one of our council members was literally running a gambling ring out of the veteran, the VFW in town, and they racked up. They had made over $80,000 in 7 months, and it all went missing. So it's going to be a fun video, I think, guys. What do you guys think? I have a feeling people may enjoy this one. That's for sure. I have the state report. That's what's the best. Like no one realized. I got the state report, and it was really hard to get, but I got my hands on it. So I'm going to read it. There's no sense in holding that state report back and not putting it out in the public, especially after what Nick Shirley's been up to and doing all these great reports as well. He just went into California, he was showing the vote. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I told you guys I've watched it. I sat in the polls and I ran for an election, 2 of them, and I watched the mayor. Our mayor, he has a huge family, and like I said, I challenged it, and they didn't give him a provisional ballot or anything. They let the people go right into the machines and vote. They all came in, his entire family, people that didn't even live in town. I knew for a fact they didn't live in town because I kind of lived here my entire life, so I know. So people that didn't even live in town, they'd come and they'd use the apartment complex, but nobody would give a unit number. So I challenged it real quick, and I said, yo, I want to challenge, and everyone's like, it gets all crazy inside, and I'm like, yo, they have to provide proof that they live in the apartment complex. They can't just give you the address of the apartment complex and then be like, oh, I don't have a unit number. And like nobody had a unit number. They just had an address, and I knew what it was. And honestly, none of these people live here. The entire apartment complex is filled with Indian people, and I'm not saying that to be prejudiced. That's what it's filled with. They have a huge mosque across the street. It's huge. I mean, it's been that way for like almost my entire life. So it's nothing new. And so yeah, none of his family lives there, I promise you. And so they're all using this apartment complex, and nobody's using a unit number. Like 5-7 people roll through, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So I challenged one because I knew the dude didn't live in town. And yeah, they just let him go and vote. They were just like, they looked at his they didn't even look at his ID. They never even asked him for ID. They asked him, do you live in the apartment complex? And he goes, yeah. And then they go, okay, and they let him walk in and voted in the booth. But when I challenged it and he couldn't provide anything, they should have given him a provisional ballot, which shouldn't really count because then they have to prove that he lived there. And but yeah, they didn't even do that. So yeah, I watched so many things, guys. It was absolutely absurd. I've told you guys the stories before, and I could do a whole show about just the elections and 2 of them. And the second one, I literally had just gotten hit in the head. So I had signed up for the election, and then not long after that, I get smashed in the head. So I was like kind of incoherent when I was running in the second election, but it was all good and dandy. I didn't really care one way or the other. I just showed up and did it, and that was that. But the first one was an interesting one. The first one was the year that everything had gotten stolen from Trump and everything. It was huge. And yeah, I was whipping people in the polls, and they came out with their mail-in ballots, and we all see how that worked. And I told you how it worked, guys. I've explained it all. I've watched it happen in front of my eyes, and challenged them on it too. I filed complaints to the Board of Elections. I've done it all, and so yeah, I'm a voice. I'll talk about it. So yeah, that's why I said, you know what? I have the state report in my hands. No one in my town even knows this stuff even happened, guys. I know that for a fact because no one has a clue what went down at that VFW. In fact, as a matter of fact, the other VFW that was in town, they shut that down. It's now it's a mortgage place, like where they do realty stuff at the realtor or whatever. So yeah, that is and they lost that license there, and that was because of the mayor and his family. They there was all kinds of corruption. So after this first one I read, we'll have to get digging into the second one. Well, this one was the first one that got shut down, and they actually had to sell it. Like they lost the building and everything. Like the VFW from the state just like took it away from them. They weren't allowed to have it. And so yeah, you can tell some crazy stuff goes on. And then this other one, like I told you, the one council member is the head of the auxiliary as well. And so they put it on their meeting notes, guys. It says it in the state report. I'm not even kidding. When they did their meeting, like their meeting notes, they put in there that they had an illegal gambling ring. It was crazy. I'm telling you. Wait till I do this video. I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, a little something for that, because you'll be interested in that one. I've had that report. I've told you about it when I got my hands on it, and never really did anything with it. So I guess it's time to just put it out there. It is going to be a fun one to put out there. I know once I put it out there, it's going to be fun walking around town. I'm going to love it. It's going to be hilarious because, again, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me one bit. It doesn't bother me one bit. I have run for the elections. People could say whatever. They ain't saying anything about me. I ain't steal anything. Everybody knows that. I'm the one that contributes all kinds of money to the sports organizations and time and everything else. So I'm not taking money from anything. If anything, they're taking my money because I'm always contributing stuff. So interesting things, but yeah, like $80,000 in 7 months. That's wild, guys. And in the report too, I think I told you, but it even said like they needed a roof and they didn't even buy one, but they went and bought like a new TV and all kinds of stuff. And also they lost what's it, $12,000 a quarter or something. I forget the exact. I'll have to get the thing, but they lost that in alcohol sales. So literally, they were just drinking like 12 grand a month, or was it every 2 months, 3 months? I forget the exact number. I don't want to say the incorrect amount. I'll say it when I get the paper in my hand. But yeah, that's in the report as well. And then the bartender was stealing money every shift. And oh my goodness, guys, this report is no one ever reported any of the wages. No one reported anything. And again, they put all this in their notes when they had meetings. I mean, it is bizarre, guys. I have no idea, but it's going to be a fun one to shoot. I can tell you that. So yeah, I'm just going to go over there and shoot a video. Just set up my tripod and just go shoot the video over there and talk about it. So I'm going to do that. I think the weather's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow. I may just do it tomorrow and bang that right out too. And then I got a bunch of good Joe Exotic. If you didn't see the Joe or watch it too, but listen, check out the Joe Exotic interview. I thought that was good, and I broke that down into a bunch of clips, so I'll be putting them all out too. So we got to get that poor guy out. I mean, holy cow. He's been in there for 8 years, guys. I mean, holy cow. Could you imagine? And he's got like 2 forms of cancer, and oh my God. I mean, that poor guy. And hey, whether he did the crime or not, like he said at this point, whether you think he did it or not, I think he already served enough time anyway. He's been in there for 8 years. I mean, child molesters only get like 5, 6 years, and they're like ruining people's lives and children and everything. Joe didn't even do anything. They actually plotted to kill him, and he's been in there for 8. So I would say that he's done plenty of time, that's for sure. But let's get back to our crazy list here in the market. But yeah, we got sidetracked all over the place right there. But that was a fun sidetrack. So yeah, I'll put out the VFW video very, very soon. Like I said, I may go shoot that bad boy tomorrow. It'll be a fun one. I'm not gonna hope people drive by and see me shooting it out there and be like, what is this maniac doing now? Because they know whenever I'm involved with something and something's going on. And well, you guys know how I am. I don't have to explain anything to you listeners. And so anyway, let's go through this. RGTI kind of hanging out. Remember what I said though? QMCO. Remember I was saying that was looking good. It was looking pretty good today. I know. Oh, it was up in the after hour. I was going to say it looked pretty good today too, and that's why it jumped up in the after hours. Look at that bad boy. What did they do? They had some reporting right there at the end of the day, I guess. I guess they had their earnings. I didn't even pay attention, but they did have earnings. We probably said that the other day, I'm sure, February 17th. So there you go. I did see that jump up. So there you are with QMCO. And let's look at the rest of these guys. QBT right here. That was pulled back. So that one might be the only one that's really up right now. D-Wave was down. I saw that today. And that was that's why that QMCO is looking good, I guess. It was going off its earnings, and QTUM pulling back. QSI also down today. That one's been dipping a lot. I mean, when that thing gets turned around, that should be a good opportunity. IO&Q dipping down as well. RCAT, that was just kind of hanging out there today. Aerospace and defense, I don't think it's really ready. And then Z-Space just kind of up a little bit, but it's been dipping pretty good. I mean, look at that look. I don't know. We'd have to look at it. We know every time it gets set up, it likes to pull back anyway. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for good old Z-Space there. So there's your quantum and computer hardware ones right there. And let's keep on rolling right through and see what's going on with healthcare, because that was pulling back. That looked kind of good last night. And there you are, Oscar right there, and MOH was pulled. Oh, wait, I thought that was down. It was down at some point. That's curling up, though. Look at that bad boy. I did see it down right around there. It was bouncing around this morning, saw it down, but it popped up. It came back down there. And then it came back up in the afternoon. And honestly, MOH not looking bad there. That could be a good setup, guys. So keep your eyes on MOH. Sinestech, this one was rolling, guys. Look at that bad boy. We were talking about it. Look at that. And I don't know what was their news today. They had to have had some kind of news for it to run up 18% like that. But there you go. Ross and Progressive G and all the Discorders. But yes, and Tech was looking great, and there you go. So that's a beauty. And IMRX is that pancreatic cancer. I can't type it in, but if we get to it, it was up a little bit. It was bouncing around, but look at that bad boy, guys. That looks really good getting set up, and that's why I say that one's going to be a good one. That medicine, their trials and everything. I don't even follow things like that, but just knowing what happened, because Ben was talking about it, and them guys like this in the Discord. I'm telling you, that was pretty impressive with their pancreatic cancer. I'm pretty familiar with all that stuff, so I knew immediately that one would be a good one. CMG, Chipotle trying to roll back up, not looking bad, and Cracker Barrel not looking so bad right there towards the end of the day. And then your plug was down a little bit, and QuantumScape was dipping. And this one's another one like QSI. These two have just been dipping hard lately. QS as well. I guess if it has a QS and a quantum in its name, it was dipping. So even the quantum and computer hardware ones are kind of pulling back as well. And Rocket Mortgage right here, Zach, kind of hanging out. I think you're bottomed. You may get a little pullback again, but I don't think it's anything crazy. You do have earnings coming up next week as well on next Thursday. But I don't think that you have a huge dip coming here. It doesn't look like it anyway. So looks pretty healthy on this trend line. If anything, it comes back down here into the low 17s. So keep an eye on Rocket for any dip opportunities. And Lucid right here has been pulling back as well. So we'll see if that one wants to pull back some more. And Rich Tech Robotics has been pulling back a lot. And then our Joseph Levy Galt right here. I'm telling you, this is another one, guys, getting set up. This one should be on our list because that's a good opportunity. Hopefully, Joseph Levy's feeling a little bit better. I'll reach out to him after the show, see how he's doing. Fun's dipping down there. Laptop travel, not so fun right now. We'll see. It should get turned around for its earnings right there, but we'll keep an eye on that one. And then Play right here was up. I saw that, and that looks like it's trying to bounce, but not a definite, so we'd have to look at it in the morning. ARM was looking strong, guys, and that is looking pretty strong. Again, you can keep an eye on ARM right there. And let's see what else is going on with Grab right here. That one was up a little bit today. And you might want to look at grabbing some of them as it before it gets up onto the 20, because that could start rolling. Oracle right here, big old pullback. It had been running up. That's pulling back at the moment, but doesn't look terrible. It is pulling back there. And Adobe right here, still in the basement and still not ready. But I have a feeling Adobe's going to get rocking and rolling relatively soon. Marvell right there was up a little, Luis Rodriguez, and it looks like it's trying to get rolling off the MACD. And AMPX right here, I thought that was up at one point today. It definitely was. Look, it was up at one point. It was down. It was up. So I don't know. It went down a little bit in the after. It went down somewheres. But anyway, there's AMPX right there, and we'll see what that wants to do. I thought that was going to touch off of this support line right there, 890s, and get cruising. Maybe it doesn't need to get that low, and it can just get cruising before that. So there you go with AMPX. And how about LightPath right here? That was rocking and rolling last week, and it's pulling back a little bit. We'll see. It has an interesting look as it was hitting the MACD. It never got through or did anything, so I can't really tell what it really wants to do right there for good old LightPath. And you want to take a look at these guys, our Trump companies right here. They look like they're pulling back a little bit. That ABTC right there has their earnings coming up, and then they just like reached 6,000 Bitcoin or something. I saw Eric Trump or somebody say something. I forget what the hell he posted, but he posted something. I forget what it was. And Pew right here, that's a little stinky because that's been down at the moment. And CPL, that's been down as well, and that's been dipping down. So yeah, actually that one, it doesn't really have that turnaround look just yet. And PSQH right there is actually up a little bit. Now that one doesn't look too bad. That one could try to run. BMNR has been down with the rest of crypto and everything else. And of course, SBET and these guys not looking so good right there. Here's UPXI, and that one's pulling back as well. Wow, 72 cents. Look at that thing in the basement. Holy cow. And ORBS right there taking a beating. FGNX. Oh, I just typed it in wrong. Haven't looked at it in a little bit, but FG Nexus right there. And that one, oh, wow, they're doing the old reverse split right there. They did it. So they had to do the old reverse split action right there. That's how bad Ethereum is. Holy cow. I mean, that's not a good thing for them. So in the basement for FGNX. And yeah, I would say crypto treasury is not doing so great right at the moment. That's for sure. And let's keep an eye and see what they're going to do. But yeah, I would say not the most beautiful setups. Let's look and see what gold was up to. GLD, that was dipping down. SLV, remember I said I didn't think they looked too good. See if silver can hold up there. I'm not so sure it can at the moment. And then your NUG was down and JNUG was down. Remember we were talking about these, but we were also talking about JDUS last night, so that got rolling. And your DUST was running up there today. So, and that one, I mean, like we were saying, we're in a good spots and trying to look good. So there you are. And there you go. Laptop and Luis Rodriguez said, laptop travel alerted you on ABTC. It popped and you got right out. When was that? Was that today? I don't even know if it popped today, did it? I have no idea, to be honest with you. Nah, that chart's all kinds of crazy right there. That must have been way before. But yeah, that thing's been a disaster. And like I said, they have their earnings coming up. But I did see Trump Jr. Somebody posted that they somehow how many crypto coins they mined or something mined. I don't know, something. They sent something out. I don't even know. Anyway, let's go through the rest of this market. Snapchat way down there. Look at that thing. That's going to be a great opportunity. You know that. And Reddit too. I think it bottomed out. It's just bouncing around right there, but should get moving. How about that wolf speed, guys? Like I said, looking pretty good right there, I must say. We'll have to add that to the momentum list right there for WOLF, and we'll look at the other Terror Wolf right here and see what that wants to do. WULF, and that was down a little bit. That doesn't even look so bad, but Wolf Speed looks a little bit better, I must say. And let's look at Warner Brothers, because remember I said it was looking really good today, guys, and there you go. It was running up there. Warner Brothers Discovery rejected Paramount Skydance's $30 hostile bid, secured a 7-day Netflix waiver to weigh a higher best and final offer expected to exceed that $31, reaffirmed its Netflix merger plan, estimated $1.33 to $6.8. Holy shit. I mean, is that that's a pretty big pretty big jump right there. And per share for Discovery Global spinoff and set a March 20th special meeting. Who said that was happening, guys? So there you go. And I did not think Paramount was getting the deal right there. Netflix is going to get rocking and rolling. Netflix proposed WBD acquisition wins German FDI clearance. WBD files definitive proxy and sets March 20th shareholder vote as Netflix grants a 7-day waiver for WBD to engage with rival bidder Paramount Skydance. So there you go, guys. And yeah, I just think the Netflix was taking the deal. I said that before. So that is what was going on with them guys. There you go. They're fighting over the hot chick right there. And Datavolt was down a little bit today, pulling back. Not too bad, though. And this KXIN has some room to run. It was down a little bit, but look at this thing. Unless it gets hit with a reverse split, this thing's going to get rocking and rolling relatively soon. You might want to keep an eye on KXIN and signing day sports. Like I said, I just mentioned that the other day. It was looking pretty good. Check out this one, guys. This one's looking pretty good right here. Doge Mama 9, it was jumping up today. It looks like it could try to jump up some more there. So keep that guy on your list. And that is ENSC right there. Here's another one. This one's fairly new, I think. OBAI. And this is our bond. I don't know what it is, but it's way down. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Doesn't have much data. It just grabbed my attention with that big dip. Erna right here wasn't looking too bad either. And check this out, Doge Mama 9. So wanted to throw a couple good new penny ones on there for you. So keep an eye on that one. And that is that ENSC and ERNA. And that OBAI is a new one right there. And then, of course, you asked about CXAI. It was down a little bit today, and it could be trying to hit that bottom. We'll see if it tries to get bouncing there, Doge Mama 9. I'm not so sure it does just yet, but we'll look at it tomorrow. And there you are with them guys. So that is what they look like right there. And let's see what else is going on with our market. Let's look and see what these quick Jolie's jams are doing real quick here. And Rhythm right there was getting back into rhythm. And I think MSOS, this was kind of popping around there. Tilray right there was down, or just flat, not doing anything. And Canopy Growth was just hanging out too. But I kind of feel like they're bottoming out right there for your cannabis companies stocks right there. So we'll be keeping an eye on them. Blink charging down a little bit. That's going to get set up right there. And of course, that's Sezzle right here. Keep an eye on that. Has good support below it. We will get rolling. Sterling coming down now. You know it runs way up and then it runs way down real quick. Rivian pulling back too after it had run up there on Friday. And then Symbiotic right here getting ready. So there you go. And no problem there, Doge Mama 9. Yeah, keep your eye on them. Couple new ones right there. Like I said, ENSC, ERNA, OBAI. That's a really new one right there, but just kind of grabbed my attention. Oh, yeah, I had a couple other ones on here. What, I just stopped? Oh, wait, hold on. No, I got to go through the laptop travel list. That's what I was looking at. Anyway, so there's your Joe. Whoa, what did I just do? Holy cow. Hold on. I just closed the whole screen out. You guys probably didn't see that, but I couldn't see anything. Anyway, let's go through our laptop travel list right here. I sent out the list before I even put them in there. I forgot. What is this one? ABED. I don't even see that one. Laptop travel. Am I putting it in right? I know there's an ABEV, and that's a beverage one, but that one's way up and coming down, so I don't think it's that one. I'm not sure. What did I even write in there? I'm not sure. But ALBT, I know that's Avalon Globo Care. Remember, I always used to think it was a flooring company, but this is a real estate one. Close enough. And hitting some resistance. It's not too bad, but you got to be careful with that resistance right there. And BV right here, you mentioned this the other day. It wasn't looking too bad right there. You can see it jumping up. So there you go for BIVI. And CLNN right here is that Clean Ink. That's an interesting look right there. If it can get curled up, laptop travel, that'll get rolling. And let me see what EOLS is up to, Evolus or something like that. And that is trying to curl up off that bottom right there. That's not too bad. And FKWL, and that's Franklin Wireless Corp. That looks pretty good. That was jumping up there today. It was coming down the after hours. So we'd have to see what it looks like tomorrow. I can't wait for my trend spider to be hooked, ready. I know he put a tag, sent the guy something, a thing, so it should be. He said he should get it back up and good tomorrow. So I don't know what even happened, but anyway, it just went down. And Franklin Wireless Corp, it sent me like the two. I don't know, like the security thing, and then it got all messed up. It like locked me out or something. I don't even know what the hell it did. Anyway, I'm not the smartest. I just hit up Nader and said, Nader, I think there's something wrong with my account. Can you check this out for me? And he said, yeah, I put in a ticket for it. He's like, I sent a ticket for it. He's like, I'll take care of it for you. I said, all right, perfect. Thank you very much. Anyway, that was that. So Nader, he takes care of everything for us, and that's our transpider. There's issues with things sometimes. I don't even know what happened, but they'll figure it out. And Honest Company, remember this one? This is Kids Company, Kids products. I thought it was tea, but we looked at it. And remember, we were looking at it, and it started to look pretty good. There you go. It started to look pretty good, to be honest with you, right there. And J Long Group, Hong Kong. This one's been running up. I know we looked at it recently, and that was running up then. And LFMD Life Med, that's going to be in a good spot too, guys. That could have a little bit of dip, but let it dip, and it'll be good. And Linkage Global right here, LGCB. This one was popping up last week, and it's just kind of hanging out in that channel. I'll have to look at it tomorrow. OBIO, Orchestra Biomed. That one has an interesting look. That one definitely could roll off that MOCD, right? What did I just say? MOCD, MACD. Holy cow. I think my brain's exhausted. I hope I'm not getting sick. My daughter has the flu, and I hope I'm not getting it. I'm telling you, my brain has just been like exhausted or something. I can't think straight. I don't even know what's going on. I can't talk straight, think straight. I don't know what's happening. OPRT, Opportune Financial, and but you guys get a good laugh at it because it is pretty comical. And I do a show where I talk. I can't talk. It's pretty funny. OPRT right here. That looks like it could get bouncing though. That's not looking bad. And let's see what Rain's doing right here. It was running up a little bit, but pulling back down in the after hours. So I have to look at that tomorrow. RNAC right there. That one was getting set up. Look at that. That should get running right there. Keep an eye on that. And then your Sky E right here, that's Sky Biosciences. And that's an interesting look after a big pullback. And you could have a nice little run up on that bad boy right there. So there you go with your laptop travel list. Thank you, Laptop Travel. And let's see. Strategy added 2,486 Bitcoin for 168.4 million in the last week, bringing their total Bitcoin holdings to 717,131. Wow, that's pretty wild, dude. That's crazy, Luis Rodriguez. They better hope Bitcoin does well, I guess. You want to talk about putting all your what did they say? Don't put all your what? And I forget what the hell. I can't even think, guys. What the hell is that? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. I don't even know. That's talking about putting all your eggs in one basket. And you hear that, Janica? Yeah, it's crazy. Wait till I do that one. That's going to be a wild one right there. You want to talk about it? That goes on all over the place too. I've talked about it before. It goes on in sporting organizations. It goes on in these veteran organizations. Anything that they can get money in their hands on, forget about it. I told you in my town last year they had to change the whole board and everything. And another you know what, it's funny because another council member was on that board, and they got in trouble for stealing money because they had like 3 bank accounts. It was crazy, and they've been stealing money for years. Hockey, here you go, Belmar, our hockey thing. Definitely our council member, the council member that was that's in charge of the auxiliary that does the illegal gambling ring, used to be the president of the hockey association. And when I was growing up, and they were, you could tell they used to always steal money. They were always up to something shady. And now a different council member, the only female council member that's on our thing, she's the president of the hockey board, or the hockey now. And holy cow, I would love to have them books. Oh my goodness. And then our football leagues, holy cow, we already know like a bunch of money went missing, but it's the same dude that was in charge of that. who's involved with the veterans thing, and I'm pretty sure his name's on the. I know for a fact his name's on the bank account, and so that money, yeah. So they have a bank account where all this money that's going to, and the way they did it, and this is what I found out doing the research because I had no idea. I didn't even know these things existed. I talked about it before, but I guess in these veterans and Joseph Levy had talked about it before. I'd asked him, and he was talking about it, I think, on the message one day. But anyway, they have like these pool tab things in the VFWs, and it's like legal gambling for the people to like raise money for the veterans. And so yeah, they they had this thing set up, and they had the money going into a different bank account, and then they were running like they were doing gambling nights there, and so they had gotten in trouble by the police because a fight broke out or something. The cops got called. This is all in the report, so I'm just telling you what I've read, and what I knew about it all anyway. But when I got the facts in my hand by the state, I knew it all because I was like, well, that just lines up with everything that I was told. So clearly, that's what happened. And so yeah, like something happened, and then the cops got called, and the dude had like I don't know if he had a gun in the car. He had something crazy, and then obviously that had to go under investigation and then yeah, they had to figure out why they were there. And they were there because they had this big illegal gambling thing going on like every Wednesday and Thursday night. I don't even know when it was. I don't really care. I don't gamble anyway, so I wouldn't really care. But anyway, they had all this crazy stuff going on, and again, they're stealing they're stealing the liquor from the veterans. I mean, like I said, they were 12,000. I forget what it is. It's a lot of money. I'm gonna say it's like $3,000 a month or something for like the quarter, so it'd be about 12 grand. That's where I probably was. So yeah, it's probably like $3,000 a month. Or whatever it was for that they're in the hole in alcohol sales. It's like astronomical. It's crazy, guys. I mean, it was like really crazy when you read this report. It's like really, it's mind boggling. And again, this isn't the only, it happens all over the place. This is going on, and this has been going on for years and years and years and years and years and years. And guys, that $80,000 was only generated in 7 months. So that's pretty wild to me. I was like, what? 80K in 7 months? That's not even a full year. And yeah, 7 months they generated that. They also stole like all kinds of money. Oh, there was tens of thousands of dollars missing for miscellaneous expenses. Yeah, I'll read the whole thing. But yeah, Janica, it is terrible. And again, I tell you, my dad's a veteran. He belonged to these VFWs that these people just steal money from. And as a matter of fact, I played for this VFW. I won a championship as a kid playing for this VFW. They used to sponsor my baseball team. So, I mean, but it's still, it strikes me because again, I'm way into the veterans because again, that's my dad is a pretty big veteran, and my family is. My grandfather, I'm telling you, I was the only person that really was a male that didn't go into the military. And I told you why. My dad wasn't letting me. I worked with my dad, and that was that. It wasn't even a question. So I didn't have to really worry about having to go to the military. My dad had seen enough. He's Bronze Star Vietnam vet. I told you, he's lined with shrapnel from head to toe. He saw enough. It was I wasn't going in the military, and not unless I like really really wanted to, and I really didn't want to, so it wasn't something I was getting pushed into doing. So anyway, but it does I'm real big into the veterans. One of my best friends is a veteran, and I've talked about him on the show, my buddy Jesse. And so yeah, I'm definitely big supporter of veterans, always have been. And I was raised that way. Again, my dad being a Vietnam vet. So yeah, that's really, and guys, you know what's really messed up? All these people that are stealing money, they're all auxiliary members, so they're not veterans at all. Their family members were veterans. That's like what I would be. I would be an auxiliary member. So because my dad was a veteran, so I would be considered an auxiliary member, and that's what all these tarts are. And yeah, they all steal money from veterans. It's wild, guys. Wait until I read this report. I'm telling you, your mind's gonna explode. And I'm telling you, it goes on all over the place. I hope after I read it, Nick Shirley takes it on and goes wild with that, because it's fraud all over the place. And it's in all like the sports organizations. I'm telling you, anywhere they generate money, just forget about it. They have, and these big these travel organizations and stuff. It is wild, guys. I'm telling you, it's just corruption and people stealing money everywhere from everybody. I mean, it's just crazy. But anyway, we'll get into that story. I'll do that video. Maybe I'll try to shoot it tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'll go over there and just set up my tripod. I know they're gonna all drive by and see me. They're gonna be like, "Yo, what is this dude doing right now?" And yeah, they're gonna know I'm up to something. They know. I tell you, when I walk into a council meeting, everyone's like, "Oh shit!" They know I'm there for a reason. I don't just show up to things for shits and giggles. That's for sure. I show up, I start destroying everybody. I don't even care. I'll rip into the mayor. I'll rip into whoever. I don't give a shit. You guys know how I am. I get up and just start going, and that's that. And yeah, so it's going to be a fun one after I shoot this video. These people are going to shit their pants when I'm walking around, because again, I could care less. None of them are going to say anything to me anyway, because let them say something to me. You guys know how I am. I I was hit with something bigger than they'll ever be able to hit me with, so I ain't worrying about any of them. You guys know I'll take them. I'll twist people like a twig. I don't even care. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, guys. And then I get to walk around the town, and people are like, "Holy shit, this dude's really out of his mind," because they know I'm crazy anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna expose all that stuff. I just told you all about it. I've talked about it before on the show. So, and like I said, my one neighbor was listening one day when I was talking about it. He came over. He was like, "Dude, what, dude, were you like really telling the truth?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I got the paper right here." I was like, "Here, look at it." He was like, "Holy shit." He couldn't believe it. I was like, "Yeah, dude, they're done." He was like, "Dude, you gotta do something with that." I'm like, "Yeah, we definitely have to do something with it." And I contacted a couple of the news organizations. Nobody. You know what's interesting too, guys? What I find interesting, because this happens a lot, and I've talked about it before, how they cover it up a lot. And so like I've come to understand and learn that, the VFW doesn't want the bad press, but why would they get the bad press? They're not the ones stealing money. Out the people that are stealing money all the time. So this shit stops. The more you stop like out in the people, the more it continues all over the place. These people, whether they're stealing $10, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is, I mean, out them. Let people know that these people are just stealing money from, kids and veterans and people where everybody else is volunteering their time and putting money into it. And then we can pick out the people that are stealing. They should definitely be put on blast. They should definitely be, everybody should know about it. And so yeah, I'll let everyone know. It's crazy too. I'll tell you, the craziest part in this whole entire thing is there's only one person that's named in the whole thing, like by name, and it's the bartender. I know her really well, actually. And yeah, she's not going to be very happy after this report, because she's oh man, just the things that it says that she was up to is absolutely crazy. I mean, like I said, they were stealing money. They never reported anything. And that right there, they got them on all kinds. I mean, there's like, it says it too. It actually states all the state and federal crimes at the end of the thing. So yeah, it'll be a fun one, guys. So anyway, enough of that, and I'll do that video tomorrow. I have to do it now, obviously. I mean, I can't talk it up like that and not do a video like that. It's going to be priceless. Anyway, let's cruise through our Spy Mag 7 and see what's going on. These are priceless too today. Way down, way up, and getting crazy. Spy doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look perfect right there, but it doesn't look so bad. The Qs, on the other hand, they have some room. They could go up. They have some room. They could come down. So they're interesting. Your 20s coming down on them. I can't tell you exactly. They look like they want to be up in the morning, but then again, they could dip that. We'll see at 7 a.m. on your Qs, and your IWM right here, just kind of bouncing around. Not looking so great, but it doesn't look so bad either. It looks like it wants to curl down right there and come back through. We'll have to see tomorrow. It's a very volatile market. It's very weird. And obviously, we went into let me just show you something though, right here, because it is kind of crazy. The fact that today we went in thinking that we were absolutely shorting the cues, right? We were like, we shorting the cues. That's the play of the day. Absolutely 100%. And then all of a sudden, like this morning, I guess they had that Iran meeting, and I guess they said that the news was like pretty decent because you could see it started to run like right around here. And I was like, wow, I came home and I was like, what the heck's going on here? Like, I was expecting for this to be like kind of chopped around down here, not be up there. And so then it opened up and we were all like, what the heck? And then I'm watching this thing. I'm like, yo, this thing's coming down. I can just tell by this look right there. So we shorted that one down pretty damn well. But again, we caught it here thinking it was going to drop again, and it absolutely didn't. But anyway, that's what happened there. But it was kind of crazy the fact that the Qs ran up this morning thinking that we were going to be shorting them down right off the get-go, and then they ran up, but still ended up shorting them down, and it worked out. But it is a wild, wild market, guys, because it's all over the place, and it's hard to tell exactly what it wants to do at this moment. Again, I do think we'll see something happening with Iran relatively soon. I know that they're doing talks and stuff, but I think something crazy could happen. I'm not taking that off the table yet, that's for sure. Not with this market. And so here we go. Berkshire Hathaway, one of Apple's largest shareholders, disclosed it trimmed its Apple stake in December quarter as Apple sets a March 4th product reveal, right? What is it? Unveil unveil a budget iPhone right there. And here you are. It's kind of curling. It was up today, but again, still doesn't look perfect. So we'll have to see how Apple looks in the morning. And then Amazon, that was trying to bounce back up right there. That looks a lot better than it did before. And Google still coming down here, Luis Rodriguez. It did touch that 300. We'll have to see if it does want to, if it gets stuck in the basement a little bit. That'll be a great opportunity. Meta was down a little bit. That could be trying to, again, it's so hard to tell. They look like they could go either way so fast. Microsoft's still down. I think Microsoft still comes down right there, guys. And what about NVIDIA right here? That one's an interesting look too, because it almost looks like it wants to curl up, but at the same time, it's coming down hard, and it has its earnings coming up February 25th, which would be next Wednesday, so a week from tomorrow. Have to look at NVIDIA in the morning right there, and that Tesla right here. Let's look at it. It was touching that trend line right there today. And again, this one doesn't look that great either. So that could even pull back as well there for your Tesla. So that's your Mag 7. Let's cruise through the rest. AMC right here. That looks like it's trying to make a base to go up, but GameStop still coming down. Looks like it's going to come back down to that 50 area right there at like 22. So be careful of that. GME. And let's see what Chewy is up to right here. That was pulling back some more. And Unity was down some. So both of them still down a little bit. And we'll see what they're up to. And Netflix right here. Let's see that one, like we were talking about. They're doing the old Warner Brothers. I thought they were going to take the deal, and I still do. And I think Netflix is going to be a great opportunity right here. So I think you might want to take a look at NFLX right there, because it is getting set up, and I think it's going to be a good one. And let's see what some semiconductors are up to, because AVGO was bouncing back up. MU was dipping down pretty good, but it has that trend line. But it does look like it wants to come down a little bit more right there. TSM came down some more after its all-time highs. That looks like it could pull down a little bit more. And SMCI, a little dip action. And that one looks like it could pull back a little more. I thought that was getting set up. It did cross through that MACD today and did fall back a little more than I thought it would. AMD's pulling back, so we'll have to see, like I said. And then QCOM right here, there you go. I said that was looking good, did I not? And there you are. It was ripping there today. It was down in the beginning, but then it got moving, and that was a good opportunity. There you are. It ripped up, came down, boom. And so there you go with QCOM. That was looking pretty decent. And let's see what else is going on right here. Good old snow right there was coming down. And I think that one, that could have a bounce too, but it also has that look like it could come down. PayPal is up, like I was talking about, and that is looking real good right there. So keep an eye on good old PayPal right there. That is not looking bad. And what about Intel right here? Intel could still pull back a little bit, I think, and Dell is pulling back a little bit. And just give it some time. I think Dell is still going to be a great setup. I think we were just a little early. IBM, we're waiting for that one to bottom out, obviously. Palantir came back up a little bit today, and that looks like a lot better right now. That could get moving. Sophie was down, and that's in a pretty good spot as well. So we'll see how that looks in the morning. And then Mara and Riot right here, both pulling back as crypto doesn't look so great. Clean Spark was also down a little bit today, 5%, 6%, pulling back there. And then your micro strategy as well is down. So that's what's going on with them guys. And then Robinhood and Coinbase, they were down a little bit right there. Coinbase was up a little bit. It was bouncing around, to be honest with you. I did see this. It came down and it bounced up. I remember watching Coinbase there. I saw that today. And then Webull right here was down, and it is under that 6 again. And yeah, it doesn't look so pretty and so hot there for Webull at the moment, that's for sure. And let's take a look at space right here, SPCE. And that guy is it looked a lot better yesterday. Let's put it that way. It's kind of rolling back. We will see tomorrow if it wants to curl back up. Boeing right there. That one looks pretty good. I think that gets set up right there. And here is your DJT, and that was dipping down pretty hard today. Look at that bad boy taking a nice dip. Nike looked good. It was running up there. Lulu looked good. It was running up a little bit. And Lulu looking really good to get set up. So keep an eye on good old Lulu right there. And let's see what else is going on with McDonald's. That was just kind of hanging out there today. That could pull back. And Disney was just kind of hanging out as well. Luis Rodriguez, they need more of your money if it wants to go up. And Oxy right here was down. Oil and gas was coming down. And your DXYZ was down as well. And that has that SpaceX one. And there you go with that. And let's see what you guys want to look at real quick, and then we'll go through that, and then we'll pick out and see what looks really good for tomorrow. So there you go. Whoop, what am I hitting? Everything that I didn't want. What was Bed Bath and Beyond doing? I don't even know. We have to go back to that now. Was that one that was up right there? It just grabbed my attention real quick because the chart looked kind of crazy. Look at that. BB. Was this the one that we were looking at Christmas time? And I kept saying it was going to be looking good during Christmas, I think. And there you go. I remember it pulling back there. I remember we were looking at it there, it pulled back. It took a nice big dip. And then, wow, we weren't even looking at it at this point. November 20. Where are we? I don't remember. But look at that thing. That had continued to go up. I remember we were looking at that thing before. And I forget what else I was going to look at there. What the heck was I even going to look at? Oh, well, who cares? There you go. Well, that's that. And let's see. Oh, yeah, I was going to go see what was going on right here. That's what I was going to do. And I somehow clicked on that, and it grabbed my attention right there for some reason because it was looking pretty good. What am I clicking on here? Hold on. Let me get out of this thing. Jeez. Hold on. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Charts. That's what I want. OLB, signing day sports, NVIDIA. That ZSL was up today. That's that short silvers. GXAI spiking around today. TZA was up. That's that small cap bear. And there's that rig right there, Transocean. We were just talking about that the other day. Rhyme had that big spike and then did pull back. ONDS looking pretty decent. GVH was running up there today. And what's that Bitcoin one? Yeah, that's a Bitcoin ETF. There's that dust right there. We were talking about that. The Qs right here. We were definitely talking about them. And Nokia right there. That's interesting look right there for Nokia in $7 range. Looking pretty good. And let's see what else is going on over here. Snap way down. Ford not too bad. That's at Kinsey Therapeutics right there. Apple, Nvidia's ETF. Nothing real crazy right there, that's for sure. And let's see what else is going on here, guys. I know Luis Rodriguez had a little list. And let's see what that Madison Square Garden is up to. It's up a little bit more. They are rocking and rolling right there. Look at that thing continuing to go up. And is that what you had? That rhythm? Yeah, RYTM. That we were looking at that. Oh, no, we were looking at the other rhythm there. RYM. This is RYTM you have. Okay. Rhythm Pharmaceuticals, and that is looking pretty good right there, curling up. So there you go with that one. Different rhythm, CENX, but a good rhythm there. CENX right here, Century Aluminum. There's an aluminum one right there, and that's looking pretty good. Let me write this down real quick. CENX Aluminum. All right. Now I got that one written down. I just want to keep an eye on that and the aluminum ones. Here's that light one. Oh, wow. Look at that thing continue. That one's been a bright light for a while. Constellation Energy right here was running up. That one's been looking good. CEG. And the Elf right here was running up as well. Ulta, too. Elf looks really good. Ulta was running up pretty big too, but look at Elf. That one's setting up. That one could be a good one for tomorrow. So keep an eye on ELF right there. That could jump up a little bit more. And let's see that Coinbase right here. That's not, we'll have to look at it and see. It's trying to anyway. And here's our Viking. That was spiking up the other day. We'll have to look at that one. It doesn't look too bad. That Wolf Speed looking pretty good, I must say. Keep an eye on that bad boy. And that Fiserv, that's up there. Oh, that one could be a good one right there. Fiserv, that could be setting up FISV. So definitely keep an eye on that. And let's see, what else do you have on there? UPST right here, that good old upstart, that taking a big dip the other day on its earnings, I remember, and it is trying to curl up a little bit right there for UPST. Sinez Tech we were talking about, that was running. SKBL, Skyline Builders, look at that thing. That looks really good right there. That used to be a penny stock that we looked at back here. Laptop Travel, remember this one? Skyline Builders, I definitely remember that one. And now it's rolling, and then you have the lion on there. You already had the lion, huh? And that is ripping right there. So there you are, Luis Rodriguez, and you did get back on the YouTube. And let's see what else is going on. OBAI was an early barn burner off, oh, there you go. So there you are. I had it written down here, OBAI, and Laptop Travel had it on there for the morning crew while I was running. I'm just watching it for the setup right there for it to run back up. I like nuclear right here. NKLR, that one's looking really good, guys. So keep an eye on this one right there. And I had mentioned this one before. That's looking pretty good. And let's see what else. We talked about the Qs. NMTC. Let's see. NMTC is obviously the Noro one. And that one had taken a dip right there today. Wow, look at that. And earnings surprised you. Better earnings, good forward earnings projections, yet the stock decline. Could be a good dip opportunity right here for that NMTC, that's for sure. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one. And I had that on the list. So I don't know why it came off. I'll put that there. And we were talking about the lion, the jaguar, and of course the cheetah. I couldn't think of that. So thank you there, Zach. And we did talk about your rocket right there. It's not too bad. Again, it could have a little more dip down, but not so bad. And Luis Rodriguez said he's on the belief that we're having an overreactive dip this week, either from the Fed minutes on Wednesday, Walmart earnings on Thursday, or PPI on Friday. So that's interesting. And Laptop Travels back to cash. And Andrew Muffett, he said yes. And I guess he was kind of going along with you guys right there. How are you this evening, Andrew? Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, we're waiting for the lowers right there. And I do think it could pull back some. Let's see what else is going on. The state of that state. So we were talking about the how crazy and corrupt New Jersey is, and how they just lifted. I didn't even know that they just lifted the state of emergency from COVID. I had no idea. State of emergency was a tool that allowed them to bend the rules, including expanding mail-in ballots, of course. And yeah, it's all a bunch of nonsense, Luis Rodriguez. And we were talking about ABTC right there. Oh yeah, that was a while back. And we were talking about some good penny ones right there, like what were they again? ENSC and OBAI, ERNA right there. So keep an eye on them guys. And strategy, we said added over 2,000. They added 2,486 Bitcoin for $168 million last week. So they only have they only have 717,131 Bitcoin now, guys. So that is what's happening with them. And yeah, I would definitely be cautious. And the shipping company's not looking too bad, like Transocean, that rig, and there was a couple other ones we were looking at, and I just don't remember what they were, but this one, and there's other ones. But there you go with them guys. And let's see, what was crypto doing this evening? We looked at it already. It was still at 67. It's still at 67, and it doesn't look great. Doesn't look terrible. but it doesn't look great right there. So you are getting a little bit of pullback at the moment. And we looked at our indices, everything else, our news stories. Let's see what's going on. The Asian stocks rise despite lingering AI worries and oil down after U.S. Iran talks. So there you go. Yeah, U.S. Iran talks did take oil down. USO and all these guys, Oxy and Exxon Mobil, and all them bad boys did come down. So that did happen. Asian shares advance and Kiwi falls on rate guidance and the markets wrap. And what? Markets wrap. The stock market news and indexes waver while dollar strengthens and the stock futures are a little changed as the traders await Fed meeting minutes. And what the 10-year Treasury move toward 4% says about AI anxiety right there. And here you go. And we will have tomorrow our mortgage rates, building permits, housing, and all kinds of good stuff. One of them minutes coming out. Here you go. At 2 o'clock, FOMC minutes come out. And then that leads into Thursday, which has the initial jobless claims, and all them bad boys right there. And then on Friday, you also have the core PCI or PCE. Can I read, guys? PCE right there. So there you are. That's a heck of an economic calendar. Yeah, you got a lot of variables that could make that market dip pretty quick. That's for sure. And let's see what else was going on over here. That Palo Alto thing, that one came down as well. I couldn't think of it. PANW, and that one came dipping down, and it's after hours. I don't know, but I guess I don't know. Did it do well? I have no idea what it did, but they announced their deal to acquire an AI native endpoint pioneer Koi and all kinds of stuff. I have no idea, to be completely honest with you, but that is what happened with Palo Alto. So if anyone knows, I don't know what even happened with that. And I just know it came down. That's all I know right there. And it was a choppy market. I'm not going to lie. U.S. stocks finished flat in choppy, low volume trade as tech jitters persist and sector rotation favors financials and media. So yeah, Netflix and stuff like that is looking pretty good right there. And that's what we have right there. Financials and media stocks outperform with Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount rising on renewed deal speculation. I still think Netflix takes the deal. Palo Alto Networks dropped over 5% after trimming its FY26 profit outlook. So there you are with that. Energy and crypto and silver miners fell as easing U.S.-Iran tensions and progress in Iran and Ukraine talks boosted the dollar. So interesting right there. Some good news tidbits right there for us. And that's what's going on, guys, in our market this evening. So I'm glad everybody tuned in. I hope you guys enjoyed that. A little bit of talk about our veterans, all kinds of stuff. We were all over the place tonight. Weren't we there? And then we covered the market as well. So yeah, I'll definitely shoot that video, Janica, and you guys can see exactly what I'm saying. I was just kind of telling you what I kind of remembered. Like I said, I didn't want to get any of it wrong, but I've read the letter quite a bit of times. I had to just to get the gist of it. It's like 3 pages long, I think, and yeah, it doesn't. I have to read 3-page letters like 15 times for me to understand it. But anyway, I did read it enough so I could figure out what the hell was going on. And it's all kinds of crazy stuff going on over there, that's for sure. And I'll release that'll be a fun one. And let's go through and just do a real quick recap right here. What's looking good? I'm sure Michael Anthony will hop on real quick and be like, hey guys, can you look at 15 stocks real quick? We didn't even look at his list. I keep forgetting. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on with my brain. I am like completely out of it, I think. I don't even remember what his stocks are anymore. How crazy is that? ABEO. This one, that one's that is actually setting up right there. That could be a good one. That D-Low is down a little bit. That's been pulling back. The UEC, that one's pulling back as well. The uranium ones, but they could get set up. LW, we probably take this off the list. That one probably gets shorted down now, but ran that up pretty well. And then your Tiger right here up a little bit. And again, he loves that Tiger right there. It's not looking terrible, so we'll keep an eye on it. And let's see. So we'll do a quick little recap right here. Nuclear looking good. NKLR. ARMS looking kind of strong right there. We were talking about it. ONDS and UMAC. I said these this morning. They were looking good. We should have probably jumped on them on them dips. And that wolf right here is looking like it wants to go howling up some more. So keep an eye on that. EOSE getting set up right here. ASPI getting set up right there. And IMRX was looking pretty decent. Sinez Tech was already running. So we'll watch that to see if it wants to continue its way up tomorrow. PayPal, we talked about before, getting set up. Boeing trying to get set up as well. And so is that Galt right there. Not that one and not this one, but hold on, I'll get there. There you go. GALT not looking bad. And of course, we're going to keep an eye on Netflix, Paramount, and Warner Brothers right here because that's awesome that they're fighting over the hot chick right there. Warner Brothers and Pfizer right there. Luis Rodriguez is looking pretty good, and Lulu and Elf, these are all looking good right there, so you can keep an eye on them. And then some penny stock world, ENSC not looking bad right now. ERNA, that doesn't look bad. This one got running today a little bit. OBAI, and it's brand new. Keep an eye on that thing right there. And there you go, everybody. I would say that's a quick little review and a nice little market review this evening. Crypto, Ethereum's back under 2,000. It's at 1983, and Solana's at $84, and Ripple's at $1.46. Bitcoin's at 67,271. So that is what we'll leave you with this evening, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in, Janica and Doge Mama 9. And of course, Luis Rodriguez, Laptop Travel. Thanks for all your help. Zach, thanks for letting me know about the cheetah. Andrew Muffett, thanks for hanging out this evening. And everybody else that's tuning in here. I greatly appreciate it. That's for sure. Be sure to like the show. Follow along on X, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. I'm going to post out some Joe Exotic clips and some other stuff. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have a bunch of short videos coming out starting now. And then also we'll just keep them rolling, even stock ones. I'm going to do it all. And then also I'll do that VFW video for you guys. You guys will probably enjoy that one. That one's going to be a great one right there. So I'll keep you posted on that as well, Janica, that's for sure. So thanks again for tuning in. We do this show every night at 8 p.m. Sunday through Thursday nights, and then we do our pre-market show Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. So you guys know where we'll be at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be right here looking at the market, seeing what our best opportunities will be and what we can get into. So I will leave you guys with that. You guys enjoy your night. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And thanks again, everybody. Like the show, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the morning. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys at 7 a.m.